Houston, we have a problem. I gotta check my coolant level. Apparently my coolant level is down, so something's up. I'm gonna go figure out what it is. It's 33 degrees below zero right now, and something's not right with vanagon. Out here, you don't ignore that. Coolant's full, belts are tight, oil's clean. I'm not seeing any obvious leaks. I'm just trying to find anything out of the ordinary at this point, before it turns into something bigger. So far, nothing obvious, but that doesn't mean we're okay. Okay, not real sure on that one. Crossed, it's nothing. But if it is something, we're in trouble. And for the record, my hand is frozen. Very cold frozen. Get back inside where it's warm. Let me catch you up to speed here, because a lot's changed in the last couple hours. Yeah, the vanagon was trying to overheat. I think what's happening is I'm getting too much cold air through the radiator. So I came back to cold foot. The clutch is doing its I don't like the cold weather thing, so it's not wanting to engage. I got stuck sideways in the middle of the road in the dark, which, yeah, that wasn't exactly what I was wanting. And the clutch, it was like it wasn't even engaging. So I was literally sitting there doing nothing. And I finally pumped it enough times, got it to re-engage, and then it killed the engine because I didn't have enough RPMs. I did that 3 or 4 times, finally got going again. Temperature gauge just kind of held steady right at the right below where it starts getting hot. So I made it back to cold foot, let it just sit and idle for a while, and then I took a quick little lap around cold foot and seemed to be working good. And I was like, okay, checked everything, nothing, temperature, coolant, all that was good. The clutch kind of warmed up, so it was working better. Yeah, and then took off again. I was headed back north. I thought, okay, maybe I just needed to warm up a little more. Yeah, I made it about 15 miles, and then the temperature light started flashing again, and the temperature gauge was riding way up higher than where it normally rides, and I was like, okay, I gotta go back. So I came back to Coldfoot right as I was pulling in. I wasn't really overheating, but I was just starting to spit a little fluid, a little antifreeze. So I let it cool back down. I just put some cardboard over the half of the radiator, so I'm hoping that what was happening was I was slushing up in my radiator lines, or my radiator was so cold from, it's still 30 below, and you know, you put any wind movement on that and it brings the wind chill 40, 50, 60 below. So I'm hoping that with a little cardboard over the radiator, that'll help that issue. The downside is it may exacerbate my heating issue, but I think that's because what's happening is the thermostat staying closed because it's the radiator's telling it it's super cold, but the engine temp coolant is hot. So I think that's why I'm heating up, because at idle it never does really get hot. It just sits there right below the line right here, just above the coolant flash or the coolant light, which it never got any hotter right there when I was just sitting. But as soon as I started moving, it went from normal back up to hot. So I'm hoping that's what the problem is, because like I said, I'm gonna abandon the Prudhoe Bay run just because I don't want to go 240 more miles north and have even bigger issues. So at this point, I'm gonna call this trip as another learning experience, and if I can get back south where it's a little bit warmer right now, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll head back down, and we'll chalk this one up to a good learning lesson and go from there, and maybe come back up next winter or something with a more improved system. Because right now this is my feet are frozen, my hands are frozen. Every time you touch steel, it burns your fingers immediately. It just feels like you're on fire because it's so cold. I got the diesel heater cranking in the back. I'll jump out real quick and I'll show you what I did. I just zip tied some cardboard over the front of the grill. So hopefully that will cure my issue. If not, we might have bigger issues then. But as you can see, the sun's finally coming up. It's cold. You can see all the steam off of everything. I'm gonna get this thing warming up, and then I'm gonna give it another attempt here. Oh, and I'll show you the door. See, it doesn't like to shut when it's cold like this. So you gotta slam it or it won't stay shut. But anyhow, that's where the update is. Kind of sucks. It's a beautiful day, and I would have loved to go up over Adigan Pass and up onto the slope, but I don't want to push a bad situation. So, oh yeah, with the clutch and the power steering gets so stiff you can barely turn the steering wheel. It's like no power steering. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm cold as heck though. My feet are frozen from being outside, and I'm only wearing tennis shoes or hiking boots because of course yesterday when I went to stop and get some polar boots, they were all closed, so I didn't get a chance to grab those. But anyhow, I'm gonna quit rambling. I'm gonna let this thing warm up and get back on the road, and we'll try it again. If not, we'll be coming back here, because at least here there's a warm building if I have to get in. I've got fuel and stuff like that, and I might be able to find a power outlet somewhere around here that they can let me use to keep everything charged if I have to call for help. But at this point, I don't even know who the heck to call. I'm 750 miles from home. So yeah, anyhow, good times. Got some caribou. Just running down the road here. Trying to go around them. There you go. Get off the road, guys. Off the road. Off the road. That's the first caribou I've seen. I've seen a lot of moose, but not many caribou. My temperature gauge is still doing the up and down thing. I don't know what's going on. I checked my coolant lines and everything. They all don't seem to be frozen. it was flashing red just a little while ago, and then I stopped, let it sit for a minute. That's when I got out and checked everything. But it's, as long as it stays right there, we're okay. If it goes up any more than that, my coolant light comes on. But as you can see, I've got a bunch of hills I got to deal with, so fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll see. There is the Alaska pipeline. Guess I probably should show you since I'm right beside it. That's what it looks like. Okay. Here we are. We are probably 20 miles from Coldfoot at this point. I stopped up on top of this ridge. It's only 15 below here. Van seems to be running okay again, finally. The cardboard's working. It was a little hesitant at first, but seems to be working. You're probably wondering why I stopped to build a campfire. Well, I'm heating up my rockpot rock. I forgot about that this morning because I got a little sidetracked with a vanagon issue. So if I want to eat dinner tonight, I got to cook something. So that's what I'm doing. Is I got the rock inside there. Not sure you can see it in there, but it's in there, and I'm heating it up. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, got the heater on in the van. Got everything kind of reorganized in there because yeah, it's been a dumpster fire since I started getting in and out of the engine compartment a bunch of times. So everything's more or less in a right decent position now. This stuff here I'll get a little better organized before I get back on the road, but I got the rock pot is ready to go. Everything's in it, loaded. I just gotta get the tablet hot, so I'm gonna crawl back inside because it's cold out here. I'm kind of bummed, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I was really hoping to go all the way up to Dead Horse, but I don't want to put myself in a worse position. It's running okay now. Everything seems to be doing okay, so I'm just gonna call it and be safe. Because at 30, 35 below, it can get dangerous pretty quick. Not saying that there aren't people out here on the road. There's truckers and stuff, but you know, I don't want to have to rely on somebody to save my bacon either when it's not necessary. At this point, I can head south and preserve the vanagon, not destroy something or cause damage or even possibly seize an engine up. If I seize an engine up, I'm screwed. So don't want to go down that road, but that's what we're doing. I got about 20 minutes here to get that rock warm enough, and then we'll be back on the road. Checking the temperature. If it gets up into the red up there, it's ready to go. Should be pretty close if it's not, because it's been on here about a half hour now. 600, that's in the red now. Give it just a minute to see how much farther it goes. If it gets anywhere near 650, we're good. Oh, it's gonna easily get there. All right, so let me take that thermometer off. Use a little hook thingy that comes with it. Put that on the ground, and then you hook right here. Blow all the nasty off. We're gonna go to the van. This thing's hot. Goes right down in there. In the middle. Trying not to waste all the heat. Not that it's going to go away that quick. And then you take the pot itself, set it down in there until it locks, which is right there. Should have put this on the tripod. The bad part is I broke this lid this morning. The good part is it should still work. And then I'll close that up, zip it up, and then I'll get my little thermometer once it cools off, and we're back on the road. So I'm gonna start the vanagon up and get ready to go. Okay, we're back on it here. It's the temperature goes up to the line and then it comes back down. I don't know. I think it's just it's that cold outside. I think it just kind of overwhelms the radiator. because if I slow down or if I stop and let it sit for a couple of minutes, it tends to come right back into the normal range, which is where it's at now. So I'm glad I didn't push my luck and go north, because there's a good chance it could have been 35, 40 below up there, even though the forecast wasn't for that. The forecast in Coldfoot wasn't for it to be 33 below either, so you know how that goes. But anyhow, we're working our way back towards Arctic Circle and then the Yukon River, which will be nice because we'll get to do that during the day today, or at least the Arctic Circle. River, South Fork, and the pipeline going across it. Alright, well, I'm going to get back to driving here. I got to go up this big long hill, so I'm going to have to downshift. Another herd of caribou. They're digging snow and eating. Little bulls in there. Should be losing their antlers here pretty quick. Pump station 5. I got a little late on the camera. Not going to be able to see too much of it, but that was pump station 5. And the pipeline's coming back out of there, running back across the tundra. See, get a little ice fog in the air. That's going to bring the temperature back down, probably. Not windy, so it's definitely not wind or snow dust blown up in the wind. It's not cold out. Temperature seems to be doing okay. Road's rough as heck again. We're just cruising along here. I think I'm gonna turn the diesel heater up a little bit in the back though, because it's cold up here. The front vents are being overwhelmed by the cold air coming through the nose. I really need to redo those flaps, and that'll be a very soon project, I think. Not that we got a whole lot of super cold weather left, but it would still be nice to have no cold air blowing out of my feet right now, because my feet are getting nice and chilly again. What I did earlier was I pulled over and I stuck my shoes in front of the diesel heater, got them nice and toasty warm, and then put my feet in them to keep them nice and warm. But they're cold again, so I'm gonna have to do that again, it sounds like. I stopped and put a ratchet strap on the excuse me, the rock pot, because I heard it pop open, so that tells me I was gonna let all the heat out. The way those work, they're like a crock pot. So you have to keep the heat trapped in there, and with the lid just bouncing around back there, it was going to let all the heat out, so my food wouldn't have got cooked. Oh yeah, there's the hill we got to go up next. That's going to be a nice long grind, so I'm going to put you down because I'm going to start downshifting. I will probably end up in second gear on this one, but I ended up in second gear going up the other side. Prospect Creek. I think we'll just stay in Fairbanks tonight. And yeah, it's going to be cold again, but we'll be on the highway down there, not up here in the middle of nowhere. But probably go sit in the hot springs. I'd like to get there tonight, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. Or at least not till late. I don't know what time the hot springs close, so I'll work on that later. Get a little closer down there, we'll see where we're at time-wise. But, alright, back on the road here. Figured I'd show you some scenery though. Not exactly the way I was going to film all this, but if I don't head south now, I could have a bigger issue, and I don't want to do that. For the record, that wind, it's cold. Holy smokes. Burr. Figured I'd stop up here on top though. Van's running good. My My cardboard trick seems to be working. I was way wrong on the wind. That might be wind blowing all that snow up in the air. Since up here on top, it's blowing pretty good. Down in the bottom down there, it wasn't blowing at all. Yep, it's cold. I do know why it was so cold. It's 20 below again, so with the little wind on it and everything, yep, it makes it even colder. So I'm gonna get driving. And while I'm waiting, there's a 21-foot wide load coming through, so I pulled off here, get out of the way so they can do their thing. He's coming down the hill right now, so not a big deal. Gives me a chance to sit here and thaw out my feet a little bit, because at least when I'm parked, my feet are getting warm again. So I've been doing a little reflecting on this trip. It was a good trip. I've still enjoyed this. It's definitely been a good learning lesson in some of the capabilities of the vanagon. But life is good. We're still alive. Van's still running, and we're making progress. So. Feel isolated and alone, this is a good place to do it, because there is nothing around here except for tundra, a few trees here and there, and the occasional semi truck that goes by. Other than that, you're not going to see much of anything up here. You get on top of these peaks and you can see forever, and all you see is the same thing, tundra. And it's especially true once you get north of the Brooks Range. But we didn't make it out on this trip. Maybe we'll do a summer trip up that way so you can actually see it all. Welcome to the Arctic Circle. We were just north of it. Now we're headed south. It's cold. Man. This is Beaver Slide. As you can see, we're about halfway up it, and it's a very long, very steep, very slow grind. Just like coming up the other side was. But beautiful day, other than it's just really cold, and that wind makes it even colder. I think the wind chill said it was, it feels like minus 38 Fahrenheit, so that's cold. You can see the wind's blowing up all the snow dust, but we'll Finger Rock's coming up. We'll stop at Finger Rock. I'll do a little video there too. That's a pretty cool little area. Yep, it's a chilly day, that's for sure. Ptarmigan, nice and white. A bunch of them actually. You want to know what feeling alone feels like? Me, the vanagon, some cold wind, a lot of snow, and absolutely no one around. This is true isolation. I'm just very grateful that that's running good again, and we get to share this beautiful scenery with you guys. It's a stunning place. It's just way out in the middle of nowhere. Try not to drive off in the ditch here, but those are pretty cool rock formations. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They're just rock formations. There's several of them in this valley, but that's the only spot you'll find them. They're right here in this little stretch. Not real sure what the story is on them, but they're pretty cool. Finger Mountain. There, I'll show you when we get there. Yukon River. As you can see, I parked under the Alaska pipeline. And we're getting ready to cross the bridge right up there. Should have taken a better picture from the other side. Maybe I'll run back over there and get a picture. There it is, Yukon River Bridge in the mighty Yukon. We're gonna go drive over the top now. Somebody made a moose angel. Pretty cool trees. They're all packed with snow. The old vanagon making noise, doing its thing. Yeah, those trees are cool. Hopefully you can see this. Still kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. About 130 miles back to Fairbanks from here. So still quite a ways. Figured I'd show you this though, because it looks pretty cool. I know I showed it a little bit yesterday coming up, but when the sun's beating on it, it looks totally different. Not getting too much glare off the windshield. I would put my hand out the window, but it's really cold out there. Pretty cool landscape. It changes so frequently up here. About every 50 to 100 miles, it looks like something totally different. This direction because it's all mostly downhill going this way. I mean, there's some uphills, but it's like a long, slow climb out of Fairbanks forever, it feels like. So going this way, you're just kind of coasting a lot of the time. Going the other way, I was in second gear a lot of the time, so definitely a little faster going this way. Doesn't hurt that it's sunny and beautiful again. I'm not going to complain about that for sure. It's starting to warm up a little bit. I can tell I'm getting closer to Fairbanks. Beautiful scenery. Got the old pipeline snaking through the middle of the tundra over there. I'm just cruising, logging miles. Temperature's holding good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. I probably should have slept a couple more hours this morning, but I was excited. I wanted to get up on a slope. And unfortunately that didn't work out so well, so maybe next time. Can't win them all, I guess. I don't like failing, but the alternative could have been worse, so I'll I'll take that one on the chin, and I brought you along. Like I said, I don't hide my failures. There's plenty of them out there, so I could have easily edited all that out, but why? That doesn't tell the real story. The real story is Vanagon does not like 33 below or colder. Not a wasted trip though. It was a good learning lesson, a good experience. I know a lot more about the van now. Start climbing up this hill. Alright, time to downshift. Still grinding miles. We got different scenery though. We're back on Highway 2. We are off the Dalton Highway officially, so now we're just cruising. It's still windy, it's still cold, and now it's slippery too, as a bonus. But that's alright. We're just logging miles. When I stopped a little while ago, it was like 18 below zero, so it's still chilly. We made it to Chena Hot Springs, but it is an absolute cluster in there right now. And I mean, like 4 tour buses just pulled in right before I got here, and they're all waiting in line. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really need to soak in hot springs that bad, because it was going slower than molasses in Fairbanks, so yeah, it's not fast. So I was like, you know what? I stood there for like 25 minutes and one person got through the line, and I was like, yep, I got better things to do. I can go stand in a hot shower somewhere if I want. So we're gonna meander back towards Fairbanks and find somewhere to camp out for the night.